Hello everyone, I'm Fenil Jain. I'm an app developer at DSCVIT, and today we're going to have a look into an interesting topic in Flutter. Today we are going to have a look on how to do testing with Firebase. Testing is very important in critical systems running in production. Even if small changes are there, through tests we can be confident that our systems will not break. In Flutter, for testing, we use Mockito framework. Mockito framework is very good because it allows us to test anything easily by mocking it. But there are a few cases where we can get stuck, and mainly this is the case with Firebase. There's even an issue up underneath. Though it has been closed, when we scroll down, the reason for closing it is the issue has been moved over here. When we go to that link, we see over here that at the very bottom that someone has made packages for it. But what if we don't want to use the packages? We can also do it without packages very easily. And today that's what I'm going to talk about. So let's jump on into our code editor. So here in our code editor, I've put together a very small example for you. Over here, I've taken a Firebase storage upload task. So whatever file is given to us, we are uploading it to Firebase under the child timetables, college name, classroom name, and then we are putting up the file. Over here, then we are calling the events which returns a stream. So we need to call the first to convert it into a future. Now, as it is converted into a future, we are waiting for it, and then we are getting its download URL. So that's what we are returning. You can see over here future of string. Now, as we have understood what this function does, let's try to understand how we can test it. But before that, let's try to understand some notes. How does Mockito exactly work? What Mockito does is it mocks whole of the functionality which we want to test. It sees if there are any incoming requests. It takes the request. After that, it compares. Have we mocked that thing? If we have mocked that thing, then it uses our implementation and gives back the answer what we want to give. Otherwise, it takes the native implementation. Now, let's see how we can test this with this understanding. So over here, the main challenge which we face while testing the Firebase function is they are very complex. So there are many things called. Now this makes it very hard to test because we need to mock all of them. So how do we do it exactly? So let's try to understand in this example. Over here we have Firebase storage. As we earlier mentioned that Firebase calls a lot of things in behind, a lot of classes, a lot of methods. So what is the logical step we can take is mock each and everything which it calls. So how can you do this? Let's try to understand. Over here we have Firebase storage, and that is of type Firebase storage. Okay, so then let's go to test. We'll Firebase storage. We mocked it as a mock Firebase storage class. Okay, now there's something called ref. The ref is called on the Firebase storage and it returns a storage reference. Okay, so this is the second step. We'll also mock this step. So we are taking storage reference, we are mocking it as storage reference. Okay, now what about the dot child we are calling on it? Okay, dot child also returns a storage reference. Now we have already mocked the storage reference. So this thing goes on till this child. Over here we can see that put file returns something else. So let's try to understand that till here what all can we put together to test this part. So over here we have this test. Now we see that we take a new reference of mock Firebase storage over here, and that we are using over here. So when dot reference is called on mock Firebase storage, as we saw over here that we want the Firebase, we want the storage reference as the return type. So that's what we are doing. we are creating the storage reference, we are an instance of storage reference, and then we are passing it on. After that, we saw that for the subsequent childs, all have the same thing. So over here, the mock storage reference 1. So here it will be received. Let's forget the selected part. Here we will receive our mock storage reference 1, and on that the child will be called. So what we will do is, when we'll mock that part, so when the child is called, I will pass on a new instance of mock storage reference, and that thing will be passed over here. So now till here we have our new mock storage reference. We continue the same till all the childs are done. We have our last mock storage reference over here. So now on our last mock storage reference, that is mock storage reference 4, we have something called footput file. Then we also mock that by stubbing it by saying mock storage reference dot put file, any comma any. There are two arguments which we are passing, file and storage metadata. So that says for to any comma any, and when this is called, I want to return, as you can see over here, storage upload task. Okay, storage upload task, and we have mocked it over here as mock storage upload task. We have an instance of mock storage upload task over here, and that's what we are returning, the mock storage upload task. Now when we see further, this is stored into final upload task, and final upload task is called, now there's a event called upon it, the dot events is called upon it. When dot events is called upon it, we see that it returns a stream. We come over here, we mock that also by saying mock storage upload task, which will be returned in the upload task. When dot events is called on it, please use the mock stream. Now over here, one thing to notice is that we are not mocking the whole stream class. We are mocking it with this. So stream class supports generic parameters, and this is the parameter which we want to test it on. If we only mention stream, then it won't work. That's why we need to specify that we are doing it for storage task event, because the events says that it is a stream of storage task event. So then we come over here, we are returning that stream. After that, we are saying that we have been calling first to convert it into a future. So over here, what we will be doing is we will be taking the stream and we will be mocking that whenever dot first is called, return a future. So over here, this is an async method, the direct arrow method with the async keyword. So it will return this as a future. Now what will be returned as a future exactly is the storage task event, and that's what we are this is the instance where we have, this is the instance defined where we have the mock storage task event. So we have reached till now, and we have returned a future. After that, when we see that we are also calling on this future, we are calling a snapshot. So we will also mock the snapshot part. So over here, if we see, we are mocking the snapshot part, and we'll see that it's returning a storage task snapshot. So we go above, we see that we have the storage task snapshot, and we are mocking that also. Now we have created another reference for mock storage snapshot, and over here we are returning it. After that, we see that we are calling the reference, so we are getting the storage reference from the storage task snapshot. So over here in this reference, over here, when the dot ref is called, we are returning the mock storage reference. Now on this mock storage reference, we are calling the get download URL. Here we are using question mark dot syntax, which says that if it is null, then pass null. If it is not, then go for the get download URL. So over here, when we see that it is get download URL, we are returning what we wanted last. We are returning just test. As it is in future, we are doing the same thing again as above. We are using our arrow function with the async keyword. So this would return future of test. Oh yeah, we are awaiting for it, and then we are converting it into a string for confirmation purposes, and then we are returning it. So that's how. After that, we can directly call the upload timetable function, and we can test if we are getting the result as test. So this is how we test with Firebase. If you have noticed, we did it step by step. So whatever was being called, we mocked each and everything which came into the way. So that's how we can do Firebase testing without any need of external packages. You need to put in some time, but it's very easy. But then importing another package in your project. If you have any other doubts, leave them in the comment section. Thanking you for your time.